I Good afternoon, assalamu alaikum everybody. I was just struggling before I figured out how to do the live. I was actually struggling that how to do it every single time. It doesn't actually matter. I'm still trying to figure out the same thing. And the topic I chose for today was perfectionism. Topic says perfectionism blocks self-compassion, and as a recovered perfectionist, okay, I'm Shenaaz Moos, by the way, from Happy Confident Me. Um, I'm just laughing at myself because I always forget to introduce myself. So if you talk about perfectionism and being hard on yourself, I mean, as a recovered perfectionist, I would have been so upset that I, number one, can't keep finding how to go live properly. The second thing is I always forget to introduce myself. So there's two things that I mess up every single time. And if I was still a perfectionist, I wouldn't actually do any lives after messing up. I would actually just not bother, or I would stop and start over to make sure I get it right this time. But in life, you don't always get stop and start overs. You actually have to be okay with what happened and be okay with moving on from where you are to either back to the previous step or another step forward that wasn't what you planned. Because I think just because myself having been a perfectionist and a recovered one, I somehow am the perfectionist magnet. I'm always drawing people who are struggling with their perfectionism, who haven't been identified or diagnosed by anyone as the perfectionist. And people seem to think it's a good thing that, I'm always reliable, I always do things well, I'm the best at something. And yes, those are good things to have, but at the end of the day, you also need to understand that perfectionism is bad. Perfectionism harms your mental health. Perfectionism makes you always feel as if you're not good enough, on edge, impatient. That's my past self. Impatient, irritable, angry, hard on myself, hard on others. It's a constant struggle with yourself 24/7. Life is very hard. Life is hard when you're perfectionist. And when I still have tendencies of it now, but I try to make sure that they are not things that hurt those I love, which are my children, my spouse, and my other family members, friends, and so on. And when I get people with perfectionism and I try to help them, the one thing that they're all struggling with is self-compassion. They really can't be kinder to themselves. And you can't overcome a lot of things without learning that. So my live today was about looking for input. I want to do a new workshop this first quarter of the year. And it's going to either be recovering from perfectionism, or how do I recover, or, whatever that would be called, doesn't have a name yet, or self-compassion. Both are important, both are necessary. So that's question one. You need to choose between self-compassion or perfectionism. You're going to vote. And the second question is, do we do it live, in person, like in a physical venue, which I'm not really up for as COVID is back again and numbers are going up. So online, live, or pre-recorded. So you buy the series and you watch it at your own leisure. Obviously, each of those things will have different pricing because of the work involved. So that's all I wanted to say. And if there's only one person watching, so if you have a question, ask the question. I went live, I think last week or the week before, I can't remember, and I asked for questions, but no one asked a question after that. These things are impromptu, so I'm not actually going to give people long notifications about lives or whatever. They're going to be, I'm hoping to do them often and short and quick, so that they're going to give you something that you need to hear for the day. So my message today is, and perfectionist people are often in denial. And I hear their language, I can hear their things like, but there's a way to do things. Or the way they do things makes no sense. Or you would actually go and take something out of someone's hands while they're busy and do it properly. The other thing with it is impatience, like your timeline of when you want something versus when people can actually do it. If it's your kids, your spouse, your colleague, or whatever, it doesn't matter. You have the same irrational timeline of expectation now. I've had to do something because my kids have told me mommy, you asked for something now on WhatsApp on our family chat, but in 3 seconds you want it. So I've been counting. When I remember, I count, like, depending on how patient I am, I count to 30 to 50 to 100, just to make sure that I'm letting time pass by between my first request and my second message, or me shouting to the kids to do what I asked. So a lot of people think because I teach parenting and I teach other things that I haven't mastered everything. I only know what I know in the way that I know it. And I teach it to that other people in a practical way so that you can overcome those struggles. So I've overcome the perfectionism, but I've never taught it in a way that would make sense for other people. I do lots of other things for my own development that helps me, including meditation and other self-development courses, books. So the questions are, remember, perfectionism or self-compassion, which course do you want next? Right? Question 2 is online live or pre-recorded. So those are the 2 questions. If I can add a question here, well, that will be so nice. Okay, wait, no, it doesn't want me to add a question. Okay, it says there are no questions from people yet. Okay. So that's the extent of me trying to edit the live while I'm busy. So that's about it. For me, you know what? The thing that most people don't understand is that this world, this inner world, the one that you have, it's shaped by your view. And as a perfectionist, you have a particular set of thought patterns that don't serve you. In the past year, I've been testing children, and most of the kids I test positive for perfectionism. I then test a parent because that harmful, so kids with anxiety, kids with anger, all these secondary issues sit because they are perfectionists, and perfectionist parents create perfectionist children. You also create anxious children, or a combo of both. A perfectionist and anxious child is actually the worst, to combine the 2 together. So often when you send your kids, and I can work with them, they're easy to take the skills on, but the best method is always when the parent evolves, when the parent learns how to manage something and models it. So yes, I can play a role in helping your kids, but I can also play a role in helping you. And I always say, when parents often come to workshops and things, their kids that were meant to see me or started seeing me don't come back because the need then falls away. And that's why I do the parenting workshops particularly, and the self-development, because we need to keep on working on ourselves and not making excuses. I mean, the financial crunch most people feel is quite intense, and I know that's the reason why no one signed up for self-mastery, self-mastery is going to be postponed until later in the year. And I'm going to focus on perfectionism and self-compassion. And the other thing that I was thinking of, because I see lots of girls age 12 up, is doing like an online program, like a self-love portal group. That was the name that came to me in the shower, for girls 12 to 14 and then 15 to 18. So the self-love portal is learning all the skills that you need, that I teach in therapy, that you can then get. So I want to include girls in that age group who've already been to therapy with me as mentors and guides to the girls who are new, who need someone to be their buddy. I mean, I can teach them skills, but it's so much nicer as a teenage girl when you have another teenage girl that's actually done it, and she is your mirror. She's your guide that you can do it too. I'm just a crinkly old lady, so what would I know? But I work with a lot of teenagers, and I know you struggle, especially girls. Boys, I'm going to figure out what you need, but this year I'm going to focus on women. Self-compassion and those types of things are a must for girls and grown women. So that's my plan, 12 to 14. Whichever sign up has the most age group, I'll have to do that. 12 to 14 or 15 to 18, whichever happens. So it'll probably be like once a month or twice a month. Once a month maybe me teaching a skill, and the second session may be the girls interacting and sharing with each other. I've got clients online, teenagers who don't live in Cape Town. That's why I'm doing it online, so they can also be part of and be mentors for other girls. So that's, if you are watching this video, please drop a note to say you watched it, you enjoyed it, what choices you have from the questions, and also what you think about the idea, the self-love portal for teenage girls. Okay, guys, I think I'm actually at a farewell lunch at work. I hear the food and plates. That's my cue. Have an awesome day. Thank you for watching. Bye. Assalamu alaikum.